right, hello and welcome to the podcast. Brent Hanks.
You get a point?
Join me once again. Give me that thing.
You get a point?
Oh,
You already broke our prop?
I might have broke our prop. Anyway.
Great way to start the show.
The podcast is back. We have tons of stuff to get into. You want... Oh, wait. That's the podcast playing on my laptop. I'm so professional
You're a
today.
disaster.
It's unbelievable. I have like 3 different feeds going of our own podcast.
I should have taken 2 weeks off.
Did you turn on a lava lamp today? Is it up and running?
Are you well?
I think I might be. I'm a little hot. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should get checked. Anyway, today on the show, Antonio Esfandiari joins us to talk and relive a hand from High Stakes Poker Season 1. We're going to show that entire hand in full. It's a 6-minute hand of him playing against Daniel Negreanu on Season 1 of poker's most iconic cash game show. That's going to be pretty good. We're going to start with that on the show, so stay tuned for that. Then we're going to dive into how Antonio got his start in Magic. Brent, you and I are not big watch wearers, but apparently Antonio can steal one right from under your eyes as he is performing some tricks in front of you, so that's going to be pretty funny to hear that story. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to have Bill Perkins on the show to talk about his book, Die with Zero. I already have Zero, so I'm not really sure how that applies to me.
We'll talk a little bit more about it, and we have a clip of Perkins where he breaks it down, what exactly Die with Zero entails.
Exactly. So Bill Perkins is going to talk about that. Also about the Thirst Lounge, whether it's coming back or not, what's happening with it, and what the goal is. And, of course, he's going to play the Galfond Challenge. So I'm sort of curious to see how that's going to play out.
I didn't talk to him about the Galfond Challenge.
But that's kind of fascinating, too, because it's tied into the Thirst Lounge. So
right.
We'll see how that goes. But first of all, I want to make sure that Brent Hanks is okay.
Right.
Because, you have 2 children. Mm-hmm. You live all the way out in the mountains. Have you dug like a bunker yet to be safe for the impending doom that's upon us?
So I missed the show last week.
Right.
For health reasons.
Yes.
Remco, because I'm a physical specimen.
Oh, you're in top shape.
Did not get sick.
Yeah.
But my wife was sick for a week. I've never seen my wife this sick. Fever, horrible cough. Have you heard about these symptoms? Little sore throat.
It sounds
Then my
familiar.
children both got it, and my children are 4 and 2. And the fever hit them. My 2-year-old only really had it for about a day and a half.
Wow.
But my 4-year-old, the thing lingered for 3 to 4 straight days. My wife's lasted an entire week. And then, while this whole thing is developing, this coronavirus appears.
Is she a survivor?
I'm not shitting you.
Right.
I wonder if maybe we had the coronavirus through our household. I mean, you're seeing the reports now about how we don't know how long it's really been here.
Right.
Numbers are just going up and up and up. We don't know.
I mean, we have some takes and some thoughts later in the show on the coronavirus, and of course, Mike McDonald put a market out there, throwing out 12-1 for the World Series of Poker to happen. Also, we're going to talk about some yes or no questions that I've prepared some funny statements. We're going to get Brent's takes on these, and we're going to play Snap Call with Brent Hanks, word association. I'm going to give him 5 outrageous names, and Brent's going to give us.
Oh, Perky played Snap Call as well.
And did he do well?
He did very well.
You stumped him on one of them.
Yeah, I did. I stumped the Perk.
So we're going to see how that goes. And then also about my weekend, I was in California, lots of cycling. And got a bit of a tan, a bit of a sunburn. But you could call me an influencer now because I'm running an Instagram channel to promote my cycling
How's
brand.
that going? You guys a lot of growth?
100 followers.
Yeah, so it's going well.
Yeah,
About as well as everyone would expect it to go. Yeah.
Fuck this hill Instagram.
But you have fun with it.
I have fun with it. I love cycling.
What inspired you to start a Fuck This Hill cycling Instagram?
I honestly don't know. But I've been fascinated by cycling for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid people are going to drop off watching right now, me just saying the word cycling, so I want to sort of leave it at that. What I do want to say is that if you're watching this right now or catching this on demand, give us a thumbs up on the YouTube channel, on the video you're watching right now, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are very new to YouTube, Brent, but we have to do these things. You have to tell people what to do. So go hit the thumbs up right now if you're watching this video. If you're catching it on demand or live, we don't really care. Just watch our show. And if you're an audio feed listener, please know that this is available in your regular feed as always, but also as a live show on YouTube every Tuesday at noon PST, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So hit us with those thumbs up. We're going to dive into some high-stakes poker action, Brent, because let's tee this up a little bit. This is a hand from the very, very first season of high-stakes poker between Daniel Negreanu and Antonio Esfandiari, where Antonio said he spotted a tell on Daniel, which I found kind of fascinating.
I mean, I don't know if it was a tell that he spotted.
Or he gave it away.
But we should roll this because Daniel's going to give it away, essentially, I think, and then Antonio will break it down as to what happened. We need to roll this.
Okay.
Take a look at this.
Let's watch this hand, High Stakes Poker Season 1, Antonio Esfandiari versus Daniel Negreanu.
Negreanu's called, and Antonio Esfandiari's got pocket jacks.
Is that a 5,000 chip, Phil, under there? Under the thousands, is that a 5,000 or are those fours? They're all thousands, right?
In case you're wondering, the pink chips are $500, the black ones are $100, whites are $5,000, the greenest chips are $1,000, and it's all real money. Esfandiari re-raises to $12,000 on his jacks.
That wasn't too mean.
I think he wants some action here. He's got a pair of jacks. He's got the button.
How much? 12?
Can't see Phil calling here. Phil's gone, and Daniel, not surprisingly, is going to call 8,800 more with
Fair.
the king 10 of
I didn't
diamonds.
go cuckoo or anything, so I can call. 12. I check.
Daniel checks in the dark, and the flop comes queen, 6-10 with 2 spades.
Buddy there.
Daniel flopped a pair of 10s. Antonio would have preferred if no overcard to his jacks came up. Queen probably concerns him a little bit, but it's not going to stop him from betting here. I don't think it's going to stop him from betting here. What Antonio's probably thinking about right now is how much to bet. He's got 15,000 in his hands.
He gave me the dirty look. He's gonna bet 15. You're gonna bet 15, right?
What are you gonna do if I bet 15?
I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna after you bet 15, I'm gonna say how much you got left. I'm not saying I'm gonna put it in, but I don't really know. But I definitely have something there, you know, that I can play with. It won't be an easy decision, I promise. Either way.
All right, well, I guess we got
All right. And how much you got left? 10.
50.
50? 50.
Very interesting. Daniel said, if you bet 15,000, I'm going to probably put you all in. A lot of talk. Daniel was just successful in the last hand against Johnny Chan, raising with a pair of 6s. He's got a pair of 10s here. Doesn't have the best hand.
Okay, here. I'm all in.
There goes the bricks again. It's a brick festival
Or
here.
you can eat the whole shebang. That was nice to hear. He went, ah. Had me scared for a second, tell you the truth.
Daniel now feels that he
close.
has the best hand.
For me, it was like a coin flip. I wasn't sure if I had you or not.
Ace queen.
What you got?
Queen. You have ace 10, huh?
By what you have to say, my guess is you have a pair of jacks, correct? Yeah? Yeah. Must be jacks, the way he's talking.
I'm sure Daniel has made a lot of good reads in his life, but this is not a particularly impressive one.
You gotta have the queen. Can't have anything else.
Maybe.
Right?
He sees that Antonio's afraid of a queen and not that afraid of a 10. So surmising that Antonio has jacks is pretty simple at this point. The thing that was deceptive is Daniel showed a lot of confidence when Antonio didn't call immediately, and that made Antonio believe that Daniel had queens.
Yo, king queen, huh? Jackson, any good?
You want to see a card?
Yeah.
I can't show you a
Come
card.
on, one
Are you
time.
crazy?
One time.
There's no way I can show you a card. in
One
this
time.
spot. No, I can't show you a card. I don't have a good one to show you, to tell you the truth.
Antonio's taking a lot of time because he's trying to pick up something from Daniel.
Feels so gross when you show me a king queen.
I'll show you a card after you fold. How's that? in case.
Wow, look at Antonio stare him down. Daniel should not have said that.
Make you sleep better.
I don't know if Antonio's going to call, but Daniel should not have. Oh,
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
there we go.
Here we go.
Jacks are good. You got
Daniel's in
jacks?
trouble
You have
now.
a 10-9 of spades, Dan?
Nah, I got a 10.
Wow.
I didn't think he had a queen. That's
What a
good.
call.
Yeah. Gave it away at the end.
Turn cards a
River twice
deuce.
or once?
No help for Daniel. Needs a king or a 10.
Oh,
King,
it's a
there it
king.
is.
Wow.
Wow, it happens again to Antonio.
Unbelievable.
Antonio's done everything right,
That's it.
and he lost again.
Another bad beat for Antonio Esfandiari. This one costing him 85 grand. And by the way, he's lost his entire $100,000 buy-in.
Great call.
I gotta give up this game.
Well played, Antonio, anyway. Thank you. Well played, bud.
It was an unbelievable call.
Yeah.
He gave it away.
I did. As soon as I
You
said it, I'm
fully
like,
gave it away.
I was like,
thinking,
oops.
I was thinking he
Full-
gave it
I
away.
totally
Fully
did.
gave
At
it
the last
away.
minute, I was like, oops, I should have shut up.
All the players at the table agree that Daniel gave it
I
away.
had him on a 10, but I thought
I thought
maybe
he had
it was
ace
flush
10 or,
draw.
then I thought maybe a king queen.
We had exciting news on Poker Central just a few weeks ago. High Stakes Poker is back. Obviously, Antonio, you were a massive part of that show. Almost every single time I see a clip of it or I see a big hand, you're either in it or you're in the background making some kind of comment or you're trying to challenge people to make prop bets while they're playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So let me start with this. What memories stand out the most when you think back of those years?
Oh man, I mean the first thing that comes to mind is a pretty bad beat I took against Daniel, where I picked up a pretty good tell on him. I had jacks, he had king 10, and it came 10 queen. I don't remember the other card.
6.
10 queen 6, and he checked, I bet, and he shoved and put me all in, and I wasn't happy about it, and I just kind of kept talking to him, and he kept talking back to me. And eventually he gave it away. There's actually a moment where Gabe Kaplan makes a comment about, oh, he shouldn't have said that. And that really was the moment where I was like, oh, I think he's kind of weak.
So Gabe said, so Daniel says at some point while you're in the tank, he called out your hand. He said, oh, so you have jacks?
Because I was trying to figure out what I could beat. And he's like, oh, well, you clearly have jacks.
Right.
And he was right. But I mean, the way I was talking about the hand, it was pretty clear I couldn't beat a queen and I could beat a 10. And so he knew what I had, and I'm like, well, this is one of those moments where if he just shows me king queen or any hand with a queen in his hand, I'm just completely toast and look like a pretty big donkey on TV. That's something that always goes through the players' minds when they're playing on TV games, is how's this going to look? And anyway, I just kept talking, and he kept talking back, and eventually I think he kind of gave his hand away.
Now, that hand happened in season 1, so for all you guys, eventually go back and find that.
How long ago was that?
2006 is when it was taped.
You had like an Affliction orange shirt on.
Don't
It
ever
looked
say
really
that,
good.
ever.
Really nice
okay?
shirt.
Even
Ed
if it's
Hardy
just the
hat.
two of us with no one around,
No,
don't
look
ever
good.
say Ed Hardy or Affliction to me again.
Goatee looked good. You were very stylish. You always have been.
Yeah.
I want to know, $100,000 buy-in for that game. What was your bankroll like? Did that really hurt? And Gabe also made comments that you took bad beat after bad beat after bad beat on high stakes poker.
Yeah, I was pretty unlucky on high stakes poker. I think I was a net loser over the course of the 7 years that it went, and I don't think I ever missed a season. But yes, 100,000 meant a lot. I mean, it still means a lot. It's a lot of money. But at the time, I was much younger, much more careless, and needed to win a lot more. So it hurt.
Yeah.
That, he got me on the river.
If you get the call, can we expect to see you in the reboot?
For the reboot of high stakes poker, it'd be pretty hard to say no to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
So
pretty hard
we're
to
going to
say
hold
no
you
to
to that. So you're in.
I mean, I don't make commitments until it's like a free roll for me to not make a commitment, right? Because when the time comes, I'm still probably
Still
invited. So I'll just wait until then. Why would I
Okay.
give you a commitment now?
Right.
Fine.
If I give you a commitment, I'm in.
What was the vibe like on the set? And did you have any idea of how big this, had the potential to be just because of how, new it was?
No, I mean, nobody knew. I remember when Maury and I were buddies, and he called me and said, what do you think about putting a cash game on television? And I'm like, I don't know if that'll work. And clearly it worked. I don't really remember my answer, but it was something like that. Anyway, he obviously made it happen, and it became a huge success. And it was awesome. It was so fun to play for so much money on television, and everybody could see the hole cards. And I think a lot of people enjoyed that it was a real poker game what they're used to for different stakes and whatnot. Versus a tournament where there's only one winner and you have to do certain things with certain hands. Here you get all the time in the world. And so I think they just showed a different dynamic of poker that was really interesting to watch. And it was great to be part of it. I remember when Daniel had top full and Gus made
Oh my
quads.
God, that hand is so sick.
And I was sitting right next to him. And I was just like, whoa, what just happened? That was one of my favorite moments as well.
All right, we are back. Brent, that hand was amazing, and it goes to show how much gold we got from high stakes poker. While the clip was rolling, and I mean, I can't really give you guys these names just yet, you were doing some speculation on who we'll see on the return of high stakes poker.
I can tell you with certainty, I have commitments from 85 to 90% of the players for all of Season 8.
Wow.
Season 8 is going to be our brand new season of high stakes poker. I've talked to all of them on the phone, text. I mean, this is as exciting as you could possibly get for this lineup that we're going to see.
Right. If you're watching this live right now, let us know in the chat which new players that have never played on high stakes poker ever before should be on the new season. Brent is putting these lineups together as we speak. If you're watching this later on demand, let us know in the comments down below which new players should be on high stakes poker. Brent, you're bringing high stakes poker back.
Yeah.
You, me, and Maury were in a room yesterday going back and forth on lineups, on names. You were texting probably about 25 people all at the same time.
Yeah.
Will we see new faces?
Let me tell you this. I'll start. Everyone I've reached out to, thus far, I haven't had a single player decline the invitation.
Wow.
Now, there are 2 in the tank that are figuring out if it's going to work out with their calendar.
Are those old school names or new school names?
1 new school,
Okay.
1 old school.
Cool.
Yeah. And yes, in the chat, Ryan McGee, it is coming back. Shout out the Blazer. Durr. Wink, wink. The Blazer, Phil Ivey, again, Jungle, Chidwick. Oh,
G-Man.
G-Man. Yeah, no, Garrett Edelstein would be great. Yeah. So, I can't really reveal who it is quite yet. We're not ready to announce that.
Right.
But one thing I noticed, again, from that Antonio and Negreanu video that we just rolled from Season 1, you know what is coming back for high stakes poker?
Affliction?
Bricks of cash.
Oh, really?
Bricks of cash have been approved. It's happening. And the way it's going to work, I believe they can be 10K bricks, sort of sealed. And it can't be anything less. You can't have 5K. You can't pull money out of the bricks. It's just going to be a unit, a 10K brick. So we're going to have stacks and stacks of cash on the table.
I mean, that just brings me back immediately to the first time ever watching high stakes poker. Negreanu sitting down with $1 million, wearing his what is it, teal shirt that he was wearing.
Yeah.
That was just amazing. Ryan McGee is asking, where can I watch it? This will be on PokerGo.
Yes, and also TBD.
TBD,
as far as where high stakes poker could end up. You know, it's a lot of things are happening right now, and when it's going to air, that's also to be determined. So, but just know that the lineups are being built.
Yeah.
The games are going to be played.
And we have verbal agreements from a lot of big names.
Yeah, and stakes as well. So, the old school show that we just saw, the buy-in minimum $100,000. There's no cap. So we're going to have players sit down with $1 million. It's going to happen. They're going to play 200, 400 Remco, just like the old days. No ante, just straight 200, 400. And then towards the end or of the season, it'll probably change. You know, the players may agree to maybe kick it up, add a straddle. You know, we can add a little bit more nonsense to the game.
All right, so 100K minimum buy-in, 200, 400 no limit is going to be high stakes poker. It's going to be back. PokerCentral.com will have lineup announcements for that game whenever it comes out, whenever we can announce that. And, I'm sure we'll have some little teasers, a little bit of action that we can share once we get down to taping of these shows. Brent, sticking with Magic Antonio, that's, of course, what he's known for, the magician.
Yeah.
Also a clip from our interview we did with him during Poker After Dark. Mind you, that was pretty big stakes, too, and Antonio was crushing it. It was pretty funny to hear the story of how he basically got his big break in Magic.
He just pickpocketed a guy, right? Or was it the owner of the restaurant?
The owner of the restaurant he worked for.
Yeah, I mean, that takes some balls.
Exactly. All right, let's roll the clip. Let's watch Antonio Esfandiari perform a magic trick on the owner of the restaurant that he used to be a waiter at.
Way back, before you even started playing poker, you were, of course, walking around the city with a deck of cards in your hand, practicing all sorts of magic tricks.
True.
I've heard a story of you working as a waiter and doing tricks at the table, and then one day you decided to pickpocket the owner. Was it his watch or his phone?
His watch.
What led you to do that, and how did that play out?
What happened is there was 2 partners in the restaurant. One was the main owner, who was the money behind the whole operation. He owned a lot of real estate in Santa Clara, and the other was his managing partner, who owned 20% but ran the restaurant. Now this guy was a bit on the grumpy side, wasn't really into the whole magic thing. And so I eventually got shut down. He said, you can't really do magic anymore, I don't want to see it. It was a very high-end restaurant, a lot of corporate clients and whatnot. Here, I was just a young, brash kid doing magic for all the tables. He didn't really take a liking to that. So just a few days later, the owner, the big boss, was in the restaurant. I did a couple magic tricks for him and his girlfriend, and I pickpocketed his watch, and he was just blown away. This guy didn't run the restaurant, but he owned the restaurant. He was an awesome guy, and he appreciated the beauty and the magic. And so obviously I'm like, hey, are you sure it's cool? I do it for the clients. Like, absolutely. Are you kidding? It's amazing. That'll bring people in. I'm like, okay, just make sure that, Don knows. And ever since then, I had a full free pass.
That is cool.
Do whatever you
I didn't even
want.
know you were going to tell that story, let alone hear it from the magician himself.
I mean, that's just such a perfect story, because once you had the free reign, you're probably going all out.
Of course. I did magic for every table. There wasn't a single table that came into that restaurant that I waited on that didn't see magic tricks.
So,
and then I would hand out a business card, and
Right.
sometimes I would get a gig doing magic tricks, and that's really how it all started until I discovered poker.
I mean, for us that don't do magic, is taking the watch one of the hardest tricks, or is that sort of
No.
in the middle of the curve somewhere?
It really depends on the watch.
Oh.
Certain watches are nearly impossible. There are guys that can basically do any watch. I never got to that level, but there are watches that are pretty easy to do. And really, it's just misdirection. I get you to think about something else, and meanwhile, I just...
Okay.
Can you still do tricks? Are you still
Yeah.
practicing and stuff?
I still do them, not as often.
Right.
I'm just not in those social environments where I need to put on a show. I still enjoy doing magic. I do some at Burning Man. I do it. I actually like to do it when I'm a little buzzed. It's just so rare that I'm buzzed.
I need to see this. I just
Yeah.
want to see you in action as a magician. So one of these days.
I've never shown you a magic trick?
No, but I need to be a part of this.
Yeah, I used to be pretty good. There was a time at the Horseshoe, when the World Series was at Horseshoe, I would just walk around and do magic tricks for all. They would all stop, and I would do magic for the tables. That's how I met Phil Luck. He was railing Gus Hansen, sitting behind him,
Oh my God.
and the whole table was like, "Hey, can you show some magic?" I just started doing magic for the table, and Phil was there, and he was watching my hands. He wasn't enjoying the magic. He was really trying to figure out how things worked, and I kind of stopped the show short, and 20 minutes later, I see him following me around trying to catch again what I was doing, and so we became friends ever since that day.
All right, the magician obviously does his name true with all his tricks and everything that he has up his sleeve. Dominic and Ryan asking in the chat when High Stakes Poker is coming back. We will announce the exact dates when we know. First and foremost, lineups. He's in charge. Then figuring out the dates when these guys are going to play, and then of course how we're going to release it, where we're going to release it, and how it's going to play out. So
it is going to be worth the wait. I don't know how long this wait is going to be, but
Right.
holy shit, it is. I'm looking at the spreadsheet right now, Remco. I'm staring at these players.
And I've seen these names, and I'm a big poker fan myself, and I get really giddy just knowing which names are colored in green on that spreadsheet. All right, enough about High Stakes Poker. Let's move into one of the players on Poker After Dark from last week. Bill Perkins was on the show, and also, by the way, if you are excited about the return of High Stakes Poker, give this video a like because that really helps us out. Bill Perkins, die with zero. That's his motto. He is worth an infinite amount of money, Brent.
I asked him.
Is this rich people problems?
Yeah, and I asked him, is it Bill, a millionaire,
Right.
a billionaire, zillionaire, as the kids would say these days?
Yes.
And he sort of laughed at the notion of being a billionaire.
Right.
Maybe after the book sells.
Okay.
We'll
think,
see.
You think this is going to catch on? Because I don't think this applies to many people. Or is it a lifestyle thing?
And again, I don't want to spoil it because we're gonna roll the footage here. But my question to him, and I was very serious, someone that's living paycheck to paycheck, normal people like you and I.
Yeah.
How exactly are you supposed to live with the philosophy of die with zero? You can barely afford to have a nice weekend, a nice dinner and expenses and go out and gamble. And he said it's not really like that. And I'll let Perkins explain this as we jump into this video.
All right, let's watch Bill Perkins explain his book, Die with Zero. That's coming out real soon.
Yeah, I'm encouraging people to get the most out of their life. And, we spend hours of our life learning a skill in order to acquire this tool called money. But we need to recognize it's a tool, and it's there to get us the things we really want, which are certain experiences. They may be charitable experiences. They may be going to a baseball game. They may be healthcare. Survival is the number one experience you want to have. But it's just a tool. And you're meant to use that tool up so that you get the maximum amount of experiences that you want. So you fulfill your life. So your life is as fulfilling as it possibly can be, given your individual resources. Because a bucket list is not something you just all do at 80, right? There are certain things that are meant to be done at certain times. There's certain things that are meant to be enjoyed at certain times, right? Your kids are 2 and 4.
2 and 4, yeah.
Right? So there's certain things, experiences you want to have during that 0 to 6 years, right? And once that passes, it's gone forever, right? And from 6 to 12, once it passes, it's gone forever. You're a single guy, that passes. You're a married guy, a newlywed. You know, all these things have different experiences that go in that bucket with or without money. And you need to basically solve this kind of life ordering problem, right? Because you don't just to get, retire and then go, here's my list, let me start checking it off. Because frankly, you won't be able to do all of them physically. Your mood may change, your taste may change. My raving days, pretty much gone. Yeah. If I want to have this minimum amount of income to the day I die, and this is the day I die, what would be the optimal spend pattern given my health decline? And so I had this whole idea of this very, very complex app, and then like version 10 would be able to actually like look into things you like and prompt you to go do things, and I would just basically live by my computer and some potluck stuff.
All right, Bill and Mini Bill both talking about what to do with infinite,
little baby Bill
with infinite wealth. That thing really freaks me out, by the way. That is really creepy.
Yeah.
Are you going to read this book, and what do you think your takeaways are going to be from this?
I already pre-ordered it.
I did too, actually.
I'm fascinated by what he has to say, how it really would affect my life, and especially I want to see how it affects people from the bottom up. We know how a billionaire or a millionaire could potentially die with zero. It's going to be hard to get to zero, by the way, when you are a billionaire.
You make more money per day than...
Yeah, so, I think I'm more interested in what his thoughts are on the experiences you go through in life, the phases you go through in life, and what you're supposed to do during those phases. It really struck home with me when my kids are 2 and 4.
Right.
We're supposed to be experiencing things for those first 6 years, right? For you, who's just a single slob of a human,
yes,
you can only do that for X amount of years before you have to grow up, right? So
we'll see about that.
And that Perkins even said that about himself. His days of the glow sticks and the raves and the party life, he's past that now. So he's on to the next phase of his life, and he's going to try and get to zero during this phase as well.
I think he's going to do a tremendous job at that, and I hope there's going to be lots of video footage of him living his life and spending all his money. Thirst Lounge, by the way, is something that Bill Perkins is also involved in. That is sort of the Twitch channel / poker playing group that he put together on his fancy island out in the Caribbean. Brent, provide some context as to what this really entails and what's going on with it.
Well, it was for Bill, it was just a holy shit, I want to do this sort of thing. So he jumped on it, and he couldn't let it go, and he made it happen, and he gave all of these folks an opportunity and experience of a lifetime. I believe it's the hashtag TL10, Thirst Lounge 10.
Okay.
10 people submitted video applications. A team, Jamie Staples, Kevin Martin, I think Jeff Gross, they selected who these 10 were going to be, and they got to compete with a bankroll. Perkins gave them all $10K, blah, 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 and the rest is history.
All right, let's watch the clip now of Perkins discussing the state of the Thirst Lounge.
The people who were watching me on the Thirst Lounge, I couldn't put the time into it that they deserved.
Right.
Right. They were, Twitch is TV that talks back to you, kind of, and you have a relationship with the audience, and I basically wasn't showing up to work.
What's in store for the 2020 campaign? Is the Thirst Lounge coming back?
I believe so, but I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, the Thirst Lounge 10 happened in like an hour conversation at Run It Up Reno. You know what I mean? Like that's how that happened. Like, so, these ideas get stuck in my head. I get a little OCD, and I'm just like, I got to do it. 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 As you can tell by my COVID-19 tweets, I get stuck with something, and I'm just like, I got to do it. So I think, we're going to tank. It's a busy time right now. My daughters are both teenagers, but I'll take a breather and come back.
So we'll see. Maybe yes. TBD for 2020.
Yeah.
All right, Brent. That was all for the clips for today because we have a lot of fun stuff to get into right now. I'm going to put you on the spot with 5 items, and I want you people in the chat to also discuss and give us a yes or a no on these items.
Wait a minute. 5 items.
5 items, 5 statements, 5 questions.
Just yes or no?
Yes or no. That's all you can say. At the end of the 5, you can give me context on one of those, and I'm going to ask you for some context on one of those as well. So 3 of those will just be the yes or no answer, no takebacks, and no second thoughts. So are you ready for this?
I guess. I don't even know. Okay. All right, let's
yeah.
try.
You don't even know what's coming. All right. In the chat, let us know, yes or no, on these questions from your perspective. So let's start with this one. World Series of Poker bracelets are overrated.
No.
Wow. I mean, I might have to come back to this right away. All right, the second one. Aspiring to be a poker professional is a terrible idea.
Yes.
Good. I like that one. Here's one from your perspective. I was lazy during my career as a poker player and did not make the most of it.
Yes.
I'm an online troll who gets a giant kick out of stirring shit up.
You're asking me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Really? Okay.
No.
Wow, that's fascinating. And then the last one here. Stu Ungar cheated to win the World Series of Poker main event.
Which time? How many did he win? Just one?
He won it 3 times.
He won 3 times.
Yeah.
So which time?
The most recent one.
I have suspicions on one.
You can only say yes or no.
I'm going yes.
Wow. Stu Ungar. Did he cheat or did he not cheat? This is interesting. Okay, Brent. 5 of these statements now. Which one do you want to provide some more context for?
Being lazy.
Being lazy?
During,
okay, so your career as a poker player. You
Yeah.
had a lot of success. You won a bracelet. You played
Right.
online for many years. Matt Berkey even told me you never left the house.
Yeah.
So what did you miss out on? What was the
No, I
mistake?
think that's it. I think that after listening to Bill Perkins and about these experiences that you'll never have back,
Right.
I think I really fucked up.
Oh.
Because I could have had a lot more experiences seeing the world, traveling around, playing. I actually could have played a poker tournament in a different country.
Right.
Can you believe that?
You never left the
I never
country.
left the country. And I think that will be something that I'll regret going forward, especially as my life is, shifted. I have children, family and all that sort of stuff. So I think I blew it.
So do you think you financially made the most of it or also lazy in the sense of maybe not studying enough? Were you on top of your game for a long time there?
For a stretch, I was. And then after Black Friday, I just quit.
Right.
I could have worked harder, should have worked harder, but I knew that once I met my soon-to-be wife, I knew my life was going in a different direction. So I worked hard at pursuing a different avenue, and hence here I am.
Wow. All right, now I'm going to also pick one, and you guys let us know what you think. I'm going to get back to one of these, and this is really hard because the answers you gave were definitely not what I expected, and there's a lot to digest here. I'm going to go into conspiracy world.
Okay.
You've brought this up to me before, and that's
Stu
why I put
Ungar
it-
thing.
Stu Ungar. Stu Ungar cheated to win the World Series main event.
Now
What's
listen,
the theory here?
You made me say yes or no.
Yeah,
So my real answer would be a question mark. I don't know.
Okay.
But if you dive deep into the internet, and the internet is a dangerous and scary place.
Yeah, set it up for us.
And I've also talked to some bookies that have old school stories, and you never know what any of these guys say if there's any truth to it, right? And I'll never drop any names.
Right.
So let's just get that out of the way. But what I've been told is that allegedly Stewie's glasses could spot ink, and that the fix was from the inside.
Wow.
And that the mob was tied in so deep.
The mob?
The mob was tied in so deep that it ran so deep that he owed so much money, blah blah blah, that it was a fix, and it got so obvious at one point they actually made him take his glasses off.
Wow.
Apparently, allegedly. Again, I don't know. I've only seen bits and pieces.
So if you just Google Stu Ungar WSB main event, you'll see the footage of him playing on Fremont Street outside the main event final table. The wind was blowing. Gabe Kaplan was doing commentary on the sidelines. And, of course, there's plenty of stories of Stu Ungar from back in those days. Of course, his problems with drugs, his problems to keep money, to have money to play in these events.
Yeah.
But you're saying that the theory is, a conspiracy theory, that the mob was tied in to him having to win this to pay
it's
off.
all out there. I would love to see, and I've actually talked with some investigative podcast analysts, if you will.
Yeah.
That's the big thing right now. In
Okay.
fact, my friend, him, Dan Civitella,
Shout out to Dan.
the number one podcast in the world, Down the Hill,
Yep.
is very much an investigative sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see someone with those chops, those resources, dive into that to see if there's anything there.
All right.
And even if it's not true, it's at least fascinating to try and read about, think about. I love scandals.
It's true, but do you also have you ever heard or seen this ink glasses theory proven? Does it even
No,
exist?
no.
Is that
I'm sure it's all bullshit. But I want to believe that there could be more to it, just for the sake of, seeing a special about it or.
I mean,
another scandal.
Okay, let us know in the comments if you think there is a greater than 10% chance that Stu Ungar indeed had glasses that could see this magic ink that helped him win the.
I guarantee people are Googling it right now and
Of
be like,
course.
"Oh my God, here's the forum. Here's where it is."
It's definitely. I found the sources on this as well, and I want to keep this conspiracy alive. And I want to learn more about it.
You know where it came up again, and I know we're going to move on, but
Right.
it came up during the Mike Postel investigation.
Oh, yeah.
Where I happened to be seated in a bar area where there's a couple bookies, and one of them's an older boy. It's a local. He's been around. He's been around a long time.
Your favorite kind of
And
people.
my favorite kind of people.
Yes.
And he was like, that's not the worst thing that's ever happened in the poker world. You ever hear about Stewie? Like, wait, what? And we all just kind of sat there and we're locked in. And he didn't know if it was true or not, but he said this is what the stories that were told.
So what about Greg Raymer's glasses?
Fossil Man, another investigation.
We might have to dive into this. All right, moving on. Brent, the coronavirus, in the grand scheme of things, in the world of poker, is not something that we should really be worried about. But in the grand scheme of the world, it's obviously a huge deal. Now, Mike McDonald, who is, I guess, the poker world's #1 bookie on social media, put it out there saying he wants 12-1 on the World Series of Poker happening, taking the side of it happening at 12-1. So he wants to make some money off of this. Give me your thoughts first and foremost. Should we be trying to bet on this and make money off of it? And what do you think of the price?
Well, he wants 12-1. So in other words,
yeah.
If the World Series doesn't happen, we would all owe Mike. So I bet 1,000. We'd owe him 12.
Right. Yeah,
so he's got the long odds.
He's got the yes.
He and Dan O'Brien are both on the same side. They're booking as much action as they can. And I don't have any idea what's going on. It looks like a lot of hype and hoo-ha, and certainly we should be worried. I talked about it already, maybe affecting the family life at home. People are getting sick everywhere. It is sort of scary, right?
Yeah,
it reminds
is
me.
very
I don't know
scary.
if you remember this, Remco, but do you remember like SARS?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I asked this to Bill Perkins as well on the side, which we didn't get in the interview, but this reminds me of the SARS pandemic that came out, but
flu.
without the social media hype
Yeah.
and awareness in this sort of contagious environment that we all know and love in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. That during SARS, Twitter wasn't really a thing. It wasn't nearly as explosive as it is now, let alone Facebook and all the shit you can pass around there.
It's true, but it's also scary in a way because people are more and more. I mean, the U.S. is more and more getting infected now with this disease, and the World Series of Poker is probably one of the most infectious places in the world.
Yeah,
touching chips,
Yeah.
blowing noses, like I don't know.
I can tell you
which
this.
side do you like?
Oh, I think we're all going to get sick. Well, I mean, I think there was an article, a study came out that said 50 to 70% of Americans will, or the world population, I'm sorry, the world will end up infected at some point.
Wow.
Now, what will happen to us, I don't think will be much. The guys that are, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, I think will be okay.
I mean, you're the example of health, so
Right,
you should
yeah.
definitely be fine.
But, yeah, I don't know. Will it have an effect on the World Series of Poker as far as numbers and turnout? I don't see how it wouldn't.
Right. Very good point. Mike McDonald, because I was texting with him asking about him putting this bet out there, he said, and I asked him if I can quote him on this, he said, I think this will likely replace 9/11 as the biggest event in this country's history as far as a news event. Do you think we're on track for this to be that big?
Seems reasonable.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. But I also don't think you can compare the two. 9/11 was the most devastating,
was
that
an
day,
attack,
that
right.
moment, you remember it quite well and clear.
Right.
No matter what age you were, really. And this pandemic or whatever, the coronavirus is just starting. It's like, okay, we're going to keep hearing about it for 6 months, a year. Whereas 9/11, it was that one moment that's
Right.
going to stick out and ring a bell and sort of haunt you.
All right, let us know in the comments or in the live chat. Do you think the 2020 World Series of Poker is going to happen? I still think it is. I do think that I might buy some extra bottles of water.
I can tell you two things that have negatively impacted what I know about it with poker thus far. I just lost a Poker After Dark game in mid-April
Wow.
because two of the folks are no longer willing to travel because of the virus. They've canceled their plans. And the current LAPC tournament that's running right now,
Right.
one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player in the world, opted out of LAPC because of coronavirus.
Who was that?
The one and only Phil Hellmuth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's in lockdown.
Allegedly.
He's in lockdown.
Allegedly, he's in lockdown, a little scared of the coronavirus. Yeah.
All right, we'll see if that is going to happen. We'll stay tuned on more information. I still think it's probably a big favorite for it to indeed really happen. But
Well,
still.
we've got Remco. We've got the U.S. Poker Open coming up in March.
I know.
Do you think that it's going to affect that before the World Series?
I think that the events in the near future are more likely to happen than events in the long-term future.
Yeah.
I think the summer is going to be mayhem. I think the Olympics are going to get postponed. I think a lot of stuff is going to go down in the summer.
So you're on the you're very scared of this.
I think the World Series of Poker is going to happen. I just am not sure if it's going to be in the same capacity. I think they might scale it down a little bit. I don't know.
It's interesting.
It's a very, very fascinating thing. Good thing survival rates are 98%, as Rob Luke says in the chat. I'm with you on that one, Rob. All right, now Brent, Timex is offering odds on the World Series of Poker to happen.
Okay.
Which is a kind of a strange thing, betting on an illness having an impact on a big marquee event. So my question to you is, and I see you have notes out there, is what is something else that is really sort of strange and maybe a little bit morbid that we could be betting on?
Yeah, the whole betting thing on the coronavirus is, I get where Daniel Negreanu is coming from. Like, why would you bet on this?
Right.
So I decided to raise the bar, and I'm all in on the poker death pool.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
Okay.
and this is
don't get fired on live.
This is the
live
poker death
podcast.
pool for 2020.
Okay.
So I set the odds. I put 10 names on here.
But it's for 2020 only.
This is only 2020.
Okay.
So not the entire life in general, because I want to do just this year alone. So keep in mind the virus is running rampant
Right, it's true.
now as we speak. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things going on. I'm going to run through these names right now.
Okay.
10 of them. And again, please, this is a joke. So let's just relax. We're having fun with a death pool. Okay. Here we go.
Can you start with the longest odds?
The longest odds.
Yes,
So meaning that longest is in like
least likely.
Least likely to die?
Yeah.
Okay, least likely to die. Looking over my sheet, I have Jason Kuhn.
Oh my God.
Jason Kuhn. I have him at plus 300.
He's indestructible.
So, and that's actually probably going to be closer to, I think it's closer to plus 1,300 there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So yeah, I'm just going to add 1,000 to all these. Number 2, I have Matt Berkey.
Fit.
Plus 1,200.
Very fit.
So Matt Berkey, I think he's going to make it through 2020. Doug Polk, I put him in there.
Oh.
Plus 1,000.
He lost some weight. He's doing
Lost
well.
weight, seems to be, and he doesn't play poker anymore, so he doesn't put himself in an environment
Right.
where he could get anything.
I think
So-
I think making YouTube videos from your home might be the safest occupation out there.
Yeah. Now, I can't say Doug Polk's name without going right to Daniel Negreanu.
Sure.
And I do want to say that this was a very hard one for me. I have Daniel Negreanu because of how active he is in traveling and whatnot.
Golden
at
Knights
the World
games?
Series poker, Golden Knights games, maybe not taking extra precaution. I have him at plus 200.
Wow.
So
it's a big drop off.
it's a drop off there. Yeah.
Wow.
And
So-
all because I know that he gets out.
So now, are we getting into favorites territory?
Yeah. So some of the favorites. If any guys in chat have any names, I'll throw some odds your way. These are very scientific. Mike Matisow.
Oh boy.
Minus 2,000.
Wait.
So he is.
You think he's not going to make it?
I think he's one of the favorites on the list.
Minus 2,000?
Minus 2,000. He's tied with Norman Chad.
Never heard of him.
Minus 2,000. If you're not familiar with Norman
No.
Chad, I believe he's a popular writer for the New York Post.
Oh, interesting.
And I guess he's a poker guy.
Okay.
Phil Hellmuth minus 600.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where would you put yourself on this list? Of
I am
odds?
on this list.
Oh, you are on the list.
Minus 500.
You're not going to make it.
No, minus 500. I'm in rough shape. I have you on here as well.
What am I on?
Minus 1,000. Yes. All the biking and your weight fluctuation because
Yeah.
you're fat, you're skinny, you're fat, you're skinny, you're on. I don't know what you're on. I don't know what you do to yourself.
EPO.
Yeah, so it's not good. I don't think I left anyone off this list. I think that's all 10. So Bryn Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Bryn Kenny at minus 400.
Okay.
So he's I
Wow.
think Bryn I have him on the healthier side, and he just has to stay home. I know a lot of times he'll frequent Japan, China. If he goes there, he's toast.
Yeah. So Ryan McGee's asking, what about Phil Ivey?
Phil Ivey.
I mean, he's
I don't know where he is right
he's,
now.
He's in flux.
If he's in Macau, he may no longer be with us.
This is a tough spot here.
Yeah.
I think Ivy's also probably a favorite. All right. Anyway, enough with this random nonsense. Moving
Don't
on.
ever bet on a death pool.
No,
you
please
can
don't.
look it up. I looked it up. I pulled up an online site, and I'm not even gonna mention the name because it's just ridiculous. But you can bet on all the celebrities that are going to die this year. You can bet on the name of the next pope. You can bet on fucking pinball. Pinball.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Moving from one ridiculous topic to the next, Brent invented this game called Snap Call. And since Brent is my guest on the show right now, since I am hosting as we speak, I have 5 names for Brent Hanks to give me the Snap Call
you're putting
treatment.
it on me?
Putting it on you.
Okay.
I have 5 names for you, and I want to know which poker player these people make you think of.
Okay.
Also, if you guys in chat want to participate, please just give us your Snap Call based on these names. First name for you, Terrell Owens.
Mike Dentale.
I like that. That is very, very accurate. All right, next one, Hulk Hogan.
Jason Kuhn.
Is that just the physique? It's
Real American, West Virginia boy, the physique, the look, the muscles. I don't know. This game's, for me, it's based on, sometimes it's physical appearance, other times it's who they are, as a person. Yeah, keep going.
Eminem.
Oh, Eminem. Oh, man, I'm trying to think of Eminem.
He's very special.
I'll go Nick Schulman, I guess.
Oh, the swag element of that?
Yeah, I'll go Nick Schulman.
Right.
Yeah.
Then Larry David.
From Curb?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, I'll just do physical. Alan Kessler.
Oh, beautiful.
He's got a little Larry David in him.
Beautiful. Last one, Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. Oh, my goodness. Bill Clinton. I mean, I can't. I'm either going Silver Fox route or I'm going Bill Clinton. Let's go Barry Shulman.
Oh yeah,
just with the silver hair.
Right, we're going age.
Yeah.
We're going age before beauty there. All right, let us know who you think would fit into the Snap Call.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
I can't say an answer there where someone won't get offended. Barry, if you're watching or listening, I don't. I'm only thinking of the hair, just silver hair. That's it. Nothing else along those lines.
Bill Clinton, legend. All right, Brent. We're at the end of the podcast. We have a lot of action coming up on PokerGO.
Yeah.
The Party Poker Super High Roller Series from Sochi is going to be live on PokerGO. A lot of big final tables, sort of in line with the structure of the U.S. Poker Open. So a lot of fast final tables, a lot of high-stakes action. I ran into Isaac Haxton at the Aria last week, and he said he was going to Sochi to play in these events. So
Sochi's going to be huge.
Yeah, what do you...
And I'm also, this is another spot I want to see what the turnout is like with this whole Corona nonsense, right?
Right.
But typically where the Triton folks go, everybody goes. And it sounds like they're expecting a full turnout there for all of the super high. Jason Kuhn and I talked about this. Could it potentially be the largest super high roller bowl? And
ever.
It is in the runnings. It's being considered.
And then you and Jeff Platt are going to be on the commentary for Super High Roller Bowl Russia.
Yes.
Which, like you said, has the potential to be enormous. Get me straight on the details here. $250K buy-in?
$250K. 3 days.
Freeze-out re-entries?
I think one single re-entry.
Single re-entry?
I don't know. I have to look at the structure. Jeff and I have to get together to prep for this. Clearly, we haven't.
You haven't, no.
Yeah.
Which I'm sort of used to from you. All right, so that's coming up on PokerGO. Don't miss any of that action. U.S. Poker Open also coming up on PokerGO, and we're going to have live reporting of that as well on Poker Central. That was it for the podcast. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up on this video and leave us those 5-star reviews on iTunes. I heard... Brent,
shout out.
You're a little behind on your shout outs.
Okay, no. Well, we're behind there. We're behind. We've got mail going out to folks. Tom Tracy, we've got the 5-star review. Shout out. Thank you so much. You will be getting some stuff in the mail. Hit me with your address. Let's see. Tyler Rolfe, stuff going out. Nate Wolfel, Mark Gruber, Chris Cloutier. He hit me up. Yeah, and I think that is related to TJ Cloutier. And I think that's it for now. But anyway, you good folks that left us 5-star reviews last week, stuff coming out in the mail. Keep a lookout.
So leave us those 5-star reviews. Let us know about the reviews, and we'll get in touch to send you guys some swag from the Poker Central head offices. Also, if you are in town, and I can say that I'm doing back-to-back weeks now of studio tours, if you are in town, please hit us up, slide into those DMs, and I'll happily give you a studio tour of the PokerGO studio.
I had a very odd thing happen to me, Remco. I forgot. I didn't even tell you this.
Oh.
At the studio for Poker After Dark last week, 2 guys walk in. Daryl and Joe are their names. One guy's got a Buffalo Sabres hat on. That was Daryl. Joe is just sort of hanging out. So you guys from Buffalo by any chance? They both are.
Okay.
One of them is a St. Bonaventure alum. where I went to school, obviously. Graduated in 97. They both worked for the Sabres, the production side, and they were out here for when the Sabres played the Golden Knights. There was a giant Buffalo gathering. So a bunch of these guys came out here for this game, going to party it up. They stopped in the studio just by chance. The security guard was walking out, and they happened to be walking by, and they popped in. They ended up coming back. Not only they stayed the entire day one, they came back for day two to say hello and shoot the shit.
No way.
No.
Did you tell them about our wonderful podcast?
No, didn't tell them anything about the podcast. But anyway, stop by the studio. Long story short, don't be shy.
Definitely.
Don't be a stranger. Make sure if those doors are open, come on in. Say hello.
Exactly. So I gave a tour to Mark Gruber and his friend who were in the studio last week, and then this week I'm giving a tour to Gregors Magana. He reached out via Twitter.
Gregors. I like that name.
So we have a lot of stuff going on here in Las Vegas. You guys stay tuned for much more coverage here on the podcast as well as on PokerGO, and we'll catch you guys next week, Tuesday, noon PST, 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Should we have a guest?
9 p.m. Central European Time. And yes, we should have a guest.
Let's get chat. Who should we have for a guest? You guys leave us messages here while we sign off. We need a guest. I want a big guest next week.
All right, big guest next week on the show.
Yeah.
Brent's going to make it happen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week.